right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Prediction Show. I know it's 9:03 Central Time. Okay, we're a little late, but that's okay. It's the information that counts here, right? And whoo, man. Okay, look, yeah, we've never been called out. Okay, I didn't know we could get messages before we even went on the air, but I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Uh, Uncle
G.
G says, "Come on with this, man. Don't make me wait." All right, Uncle G, we good. We on. Glad you joining the show. And tonight it is just myself and Jacob Meadows. Dustin Pfeiffer is on vacation. And you know what? I think we talked about this last week. How the hell you get a vacation this early in the season? He knows we do divisions every year. We've been doing this for 15 years, right?
Yeah. Dustin's not committed to the boy.
You give him time off? You gave him time off, Jacob?
No, it wasn't me. It was Denny. You got to call Denny and go.
You got to throw Denny under the bus. All right, folks. Well, look, tonight we break down the AFC and the star-studded AFC West for the 2026 NFL season. And you know what? We're gonna look to see who is built for a deep playoff run, Jacob, and who's gonna make that desperate push, and which big name rosters might completely fall apart under the pressure. So, I mean, there's some big name rosters here. We would also give you our order of finish in each division, along with the wins and losses. We did this last week. Last week, we made our AFC North and AFC South predictions. So make sure you check those out here on our YouTube channel. But all right, it's on and popping, man. Jacob, you ready to roll?
I am. Let's fire away, Gene.
All right, let's do this. So look here. I do want to start with just kind of what's happening. You know, training camps is in the second week for the most part. And I believe, wait a minute here. Is that Dustin Pfeiffer? We have a Dustin. Wait a minute. You on vacation, Dustin? Okay, he's there, but he
is on vacation. He is not here with us today. It is just a picture.
Oh, so watch here what he did. He sent us a still photo. There he goes. Okay.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you. You know what? I thought you sent us a still photo for us to look at for the whole damn show.
Look, it's not the best setup. I'm out here on the balcony at the beach. You know, got some houses and stuff in the background. So I figured I'd hop on here for a little bit.
All right. Okay. Let me get that. And the thing goes. All right, Dustin. Well, look, Dustin. We were just letting everyone know, including Uncle G, who rushed us on the show tonight. Actually, he didn't. We were 2 minutes late, but he was in the comment section already saying, "Get your asses on the air, okay? I'm ready to talk some football." So last week we made our AFC North and AFC South predictions. And I was just telling everyone that they can go and check those out on our YouTube channel. Look, we're also happy to say, I think we're at 4,000 subscribers now. And that is, I think we have like 400 extra within the last week. So that just kind of tells us that people are ready for football, guys.
Yeah, listen, to have that big of a jump in the first week of coming back for football season just is, first of all, thank you for all the support. But second of all, yeah, football's back. I can't believe we're going to see football on TV tomorrow night. So, yeah, hopefully going into football on TV now, we're getting in a groove back to the weekly shows that we can continue to take a big leap.
Yes, indeed. And tonight it is the AFC East and the AFC West. So by the end of tonight's show, we would have wrapped up the entire AFC. And look here, guys, just like we did last week, you know, we just kind of want to go back. Let's go back to 2025 and just remind everyone how the AFC East finished, okay? Shouldn't be hard to remember because the team that won the division went to the Super Bowl. That's the New England Patriots. They finished 14-3. Buffalo Bills finished 12-5. The Miami Dolphins finished 7-10. New York Jets finished 3-14. The big change there over in the AFC East is that we have two new coaches. Okay, we got Mr. Brady, who is now the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, replacing Sean McDermott. And we have Jeff Hafley. is the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. He came over from where? The Packers, Jacob?
Yeah, he came from the Packers.
So he's the head man down there. And also, there's a new quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, which is going to be Malik Willis. Gone is Tua Tagovailoa, and also their number one receiver, Jalen Waddle, is no longer with the Dolphins. So some changes, and we'll talk about those. Tariq Hill is out. He's a free agent, as far as I know. I'm not officially sure, Dustin, if the Dolphins have already cut ties with him.
Yeah, no, he's a free agent. He's a free agent, and the last report that I saw was that, if people remember, he had that gruesome leg injury that put him out for the season, and it sounds like the last report I saw was that he still has not regained the strength in that leg. So, free agent, if he does come back, he could be like a middle of the season type pickup if he can get back healthy. But it sounds like he's a ways away from playing football.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. So, guys, how about because I have some notes here I wanted to just kind of share here with the Buffalo Bills. Now, Buffalo Bills, I think, are still the team to beat, but that window is closing fast. They finished second behind New England last year. As far as the Jets goes, high expectations, especially with a hell of a roster built through the draft back in April on both sides of the ball. So we'll see how that factor into Aaron Glenn's squad to see if they're going to win more games. And then we mentioned the Miami Dolphins, Malik Willis, who comes over. He was a backup quarterback for Green Bay last year. Looked good when their quarterback went down. So now he's got his own squad. And then the Patriots, a young, hungry roster trying to shock the division again. And remember, they were the Super Bowl runner-ups.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of storylines going into the division. I honestly forgot some of the storylines till I started doing my homework. Like, there's a lot of changes in this division, and there's a lot of additions that the top teams made when we talk about the Bills and the Patriots. It's going to be a battle between those two teams to see who come out on top. I kept going back and forth on who I wanted to pick. I looked at the schedules. Both schedules for the Patriots and Bills are very tough, and looked at some of the additions. So, yeah, it's going to be a battle all the way through.
Yeah, what make those schedules tough, and me and Jacob was just talking about this, is that the AFC East, they will play the AFC West and the NFC North. So you think about it. You're going to have to face Denver and the Chargers and KC, and you're also going to have to face the Bears and the Packers. So, man, it was not easy trying to pick, Jacob, these wins and losses, especially the way the schedules are set up this year.
Not at all. And you mentioned the Bears and the Packers, but left off the Vikings with the top five.
I did leave off the Vikings.
Brutal gauntlet. I don't care if Minnesota's offense is effective or not. Their defense will be. So this is a gauntlet for the AFC East this year. And it's going to be interesting because we might see a pretty significant amount of movement in the offseason, or even there is potentially some stuff on the horizon where we'll see some movement there at midseason, right near the deadline. The Black Friday or Black Monday might be mentioned in this division this year. It's going to be a wacky year for the East.
And one thing I guess I didn't take into consideration, guys, I don't know if you guys did. You got those overseas games, which, believe it or not, you're giving up a home game. Some of those make a difference depending on where you're traveling and this, that, and the other. I know, Dustin, over the years we've looked at games where teams had to go from the East Coast to the West Coast. We've talked about it like, wow, then you play an early game on the East Coast. Some of that goes into figuring out who's going to, win or lose those games too.
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading about the first game of the season in Australia and how the Rams and the 49ers are taking different travel approaches. I mean, those games, like you say, depending on how you plan it out, depending on what games you have coming off, the opponents you have, those can linger in. You don't want those to linger into 1, 2, 3 weeks where they kind of hold you back. And then the other thing we forgot to mention too, doesn't seem like a big deal, but the Bills and their crazy fans opening a brand new stadium this year. So, there's going to be even more hype around that. So yeah, a lot of stuff on the outside that you have to look in as far as factors go as well.
All right, guys, we're going to start with the New England Patriots in the AFC East. Okay, I just mentioned earlier that They're young, they're hungry. Look, man, it's tough. I mean, just what 2-3 seasons ago, they were 4-13. They went from worst to first and went all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, you can say they were not the sexiest team, the prettiest team in the playoffs, or even, a team to make it to the Super Bowl, but they got there. And you put all of those ingredients together. Mike Vrabel came out of nowhere. Well, actually, he didn't come out of nowhere. We knew he was going to end up with the Patriots. But look what he did in a short period of time. I remember also, guys, we were talking about Drake May as if he was just not going to be, or at least I was. I put it on me. I didn't think he was going to have that much success. I put it on me. But, hey, the Patriots went to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, how do you back this up, Jacob? What's your expectation for the Patriots?
For starters, you don't have to take that all on yourself. I thought Drake May was a bust too, and I'm a Drake May fan because I have to be out of necessity because I did think that. I didn't think he'd be what he has become. Turns out he's a very cerebral quarterback with athleticism, and that is lethal in the NFL. To really go into what I think the Pats will do this year, virtually a repeat of last year. So I do have them winning the division in terms of record. Right. I think that they're going to go 13-4. I think that they got much more athletic at linebacker and defensive line. I think bringing in Romeo Doubs and AJ Brown was significant.
Yeah.
Drake May did all of that, throwing to people that nobody outside of the greater New England area knew. Right. And like Booty got popular there towards the end. He was a fantasy star for a bunch of people, but like nobody knew who he was prior to him getting hot with New England, not anywhere else. And if you did, it was buried deep down in your mind. Like Drake May was able to do a lot with a little. They're returning Ramondre Stevenson and the name of the other running back.
Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was on my fantasy team all year. They're returning him. He's got another year under his belt. Maybe we don't have all the fumbling issues with Ramondre Stevenson, right? If you take those fumbles away, they're a juggernaut. They don't lose any games last year. Like the fumbles were a problem. It took them a while to fix it. I think that New England is going to go 13-4. I think they'll split games with the Bills, and there'll be a couple other wacky games. I don't think that they'll get quite as lucky as they did last year. Like they had the easiest path to the Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. They did, bar none. The Texans should have been a tough stop. They were not. And New England kind of got a lucky pass. And this year will be a little tougher, but I have them going 13-4, winning the division.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good points there. You mentioned the lucky pass with Bo Nix getting hurt from the Broncos as well in that playoff run. But I will say I was one that said that I thought Drake May is going to be a top caliber QB in this league. Maybe it's because I've watched him since the high school days here in Charlotte and the college days.
Right.
What you mentioned, Jacob, is that people don't realize is his athleticism. The guy is a really good athlete. I mean, he can run, he can scramble. And like you said, cerebral is a good word. He's accurate. He knows where to make the throws. Did he have a rough end in the Super Bowl? He absolutely did. But I think he's only going to continue to grow. And what you mentioned, when I did my homework, I wanted to put the Bills back on top in this division. But what you just said is when Drake May is throwing to those guys last year and you add an A.J. Brown and a Romeo Doubs, and again, we can say what we want about A.J. Brown that ended badly in Philly. He needs to shut up and play football a little more and get some of the off-the-field stuff, taken care of. And maybe he'll do that because he's back with this guy, Mike Vrabel, who he trusts and who he likes. And again, I'm not saying it was all his fault in Philly, but he I know he wasn't getting the ball like he wanted to, and number one receivers want the ball. But A.J. Brown, when he's right and when he's on and when he's locked in, he's one of the best receivers in the league. And you add that and you add a deep threat like Dobbs. I like what they've done. My question is, when are they going to take the training wheels off of Travion Henderson? Because I know we like Ramondre Stevenson and some of these, the goal lines, but your home run back and your guy to break these big runs is going to be Travion Henderson. He showed that on kickoffs. He showed that on some of these runs last year. And I think it's time to take the training wheels off of him a little more and let him go. Their defense, we know Mike Vrabel is going to be solid, probably top 10 in the league. So I have them winning the division again. I'm bringing their record down a little bit because of what you just mentioned at the start, Gene, the schedule. I've looked at both the schedules. They're very tough. So I've got them at 12-5. I've got them winning the division. And I think Drake May is going to have a great year with those receivers, and they're going to be a threat come playoff time once again.
I got him at 12-5 also. And you guys mentioned Travion Henderson. Look, even with those fumble issues, instead of, just putting this guy on the bench and just really watching his ego go down, Mike Vrabel stuck with this guy. he stuck with this guy, and then towards the late there, he didn't fumble anymore. So that builds up so much confidence in a player. And Mike Vrabel, he's a player's coach, right? So he's the right guy for someone in Henderson's situation. And I think Henderson is going to probably be the lead back at some point. I mean, I think his confidence has to be there. Hey, this guy didn't give up on me when I was giving up the ball, right? And so I like that. And I got the Patriots winning the division too. I mean, look, Drake May, this guy these guys, man, they just don't all of a sudden forget, to go from the schedule's going to be interesting though. You're right about that, Dustin.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got the right coach though. And then I saw AJ Brown doing an interview this week on the NFL Network, and he was talking about, he believes in Mike Vrabel. So I mean, sometimes these reunions are good, and maybe this is what they need. But I tell you what, man, with Dobbs, you saw what Dobbs did with Indianapolis. Drake May could put up some big numbers this year.
Yeah, I think the only question they have, and hopefully, and Vrabel being in place helped this is one, are you going to have that hangover from going to the Super Bowl? Hopefully, you have a good coach in place that can kind of help you rebound and be hungry to get back there. And then two is, I think Jacob mentioned it, like you're the top dog now, kind of, coming out of the AFC. Like last year, we thought, okay, Vrabel's going to come in, he's going to improve the Patriots. But we didn't expect them to take off like they did and go straight to the Super Bowl. Now, people know who you are. You get more tape on a quarterback. They know you were at the top of the division. You went to you were the AFC representative in the Super Bowl, so they're going to be out hunting for you. Now, how do they handle being that top dog? We'll see. But they added some good pieces in the offseason. I like what they did.
And they had a softer schedule last year, so that's something else that we have to mention. So, all right, the Miami Dolphins, as we mentioned earlier, that Jeff Hafley is the head coach of this team. This team is just basically fell apart, okay? This guy right here, not that guy right there. Let's remove that. That guy right there. That guy right there is no longer the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, okay? We'll talk about him later, but things have changed, okay? This, this is Hafley's first NFL gig as a head coach, so we're going to see a lot of moving parts here, guys. So much, how I feel about, a lot of turnover. The Miami Dolphins are going to just suck this year, okay? I got them finishing 4-13. I just don't know how they are going to. And you know what? I felt bad because that's a slap on Malik, Willis. But it's going to take more than Malik Willis for this team to win more than 4 games, in my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
All right. I agree. And it's not on Malik Willis. So if you Google the Miami Dolphins 2026 NFL schedule, you will see a very difficult schedule for a team that was not a 14-win team last season. They did not win their division. They did not win a lot of games. But you know what? They're going to get kicked in the teeth as if they did. I have Miami going 2-15, and it's not like I believe in Malik Willis. I think he was a terrific addition. I think there's a real possibility he gets a long-term contract there as opposed to them going outside of him into the draft. They have Dr. Quinn on the team and whatnot, but I think Malik Willis could legitimately find his permanent home there in Miami. No, I think Miami's going to.
So Jacob, let me ask, who are those 2 wins? What, the Jets and the Raiders?
That would be the Jets and the Cardinals, I believe. If I pull their schedule back up, I can tell you. But it actually might just be a full wash over the Jets without going back and looking at it. They might skunk the Jets completely this year. And that's it. That they're going to win 2 games. I'll give you a max of 4. Yours is 4. It's going to be between 2 and 4 dubs. And that's it.
No, stick with your 2-15.
2 is kind of low for an NFL team now.
2-15 is a legit. I genuinely would not be surprised if Miami walks away this season with 2 wins and a great draft pick.
Well, a couple of things. They're not going to skunk the Jets because the Jets are better than them. I'm going to say it. Regardless of how bad the Jets are, they're better than them. So let me just say that. No, you got the Dolphins winning 2 games. So what do you have the Jets winning 1 game?
Yeah, actually, I do. I didn't want to skip ahead to the future, but I do have the Jets.
Yeah, you hold that we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
listen. Let me say one thing. You say that you like Malik Willis, and I don't dislike him. I think he could be a decent starter in this league, and that he could find a long term home. The problem is he's on a 3 year contract, and they're in a rebuild. So by the time you maybe get your team where you need a quarterback, his contract's going to be up, and you're not going to know what you have. It's not fair to Malik Willis. Like, I'm glad he got his
It's
money.
not.
I'm glad he got a starting chance in the league, but we've seen this with quarterbacks all the time. They get their chance, but they're in the wrong situation. And what's going to end up happening
Absolutely.
is he's going to probably go up and ended up being a backup, probably not because it's his fault, probably because of what he has around him with his Dolphins team. I didn't realize till I did my homework just how bad this Dolphins team is. I know Jalen Waddle was gone. I know Tyreek Hill was gone. You think about Minka Fitzpatrick, he was gone. I mean, it is just all they have is A-Chain. That's it. I mean, that's on
Well, I
offense.
mean,
That's
they
it.
got a couple of good receivers. I mean, Tutu Atwell, he'll be able to kind of toss the ball to him. Malik Washington turned out to be one of the star receivers on that team.
Are
once.
either one of those a number one receiver in this league, Gene?
Tutu Atwell genuinely could be and played as a number one in Los Angeles.
Well, Washington played like one last year. I don't know if he's going to be able to repeat the performance that he had. But
I had this team at 5 wins. I'm downgrading it to 4 wins because of what y'all said. Because I agree. I think it's going to be bad. It's one of these. It's one of these again, and it's the same thing for Malik Willis. Is the same thing for the head coach. Like, he's getting his first chance at a head coaching job. He's got nothing around him. Hopefully, as a head coach, you probably get a little more time to try to build your roster how you want it. But again, I just think I'm not going to say it's an unfair situation for Malik Willis because he's getting a starting chance and he got paid decent money to do this. I just don't see how it's going to succeed with what they have around him. And A-Chain, who is their best player, sometimes gets hurt. If he goes down, I mean, this offense is done.
It's just not the year for.
Yeah.
To be fair, you have 19 good running backs. They are very good at hoarding running back talent. They're like the Niners in that ass. It might have been something that was the Mike McDaniel effect, and it could fade in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. They have quite a few stable, worthy running backs. So, A-Chain's the best. He is the best, but they do have adequate talent behind him.
Maybe it's because I'm on vacation and I'm feeling a little frisky, but if Jacob's over here countering my arguments with how Tutu Atwell could be a number one and how they have a stable of running backs, but he's got him going 2-15. I've got him winning double.
Washington.
I've got him winning the double the games that Jacob does, but Jacob's over here talking about it's ridiculous.
No, I'm going to go like 4-13. That's what I said. I'm going to stick with that.
4-13.
I think there might be some flashes of greatness, from Malik to either Washington or Atwell, but it's going to be a long season. All right, guys. Not to mention the schedule that they have to play. It's going to be tough even getting those 4 wins. Let's go with a team that I believe I know they have high expectations. Aaron Glenn, definitely. Nobody walked into last year, somewhat of a rebuilding year. They ended up with some great draft picks. And, already in training camp, 3 standout players, according to Aaron Rodgers, cornerback Brandon Stevens, the wide receiver Adonai Mitchell, and, of course, how about this? You're one of your edge guys, David Bailey. I mean, this is good. Yeah. This is good to have these guys standing out this early because, I just think the Jets are going to be better. I've never seen a team had a successful draft pick like they did this year. They can only go up, and that's why I definitely have them probably finishing somewhere around 6-11. And I think that's respectable. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I'm giving them 7-10. Oh, and I'm going to go on the other side. I think they're going to sweep the Dolphins. Just so Jacob knows, they're going to sweep the Dolphins. Listen, they had, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, but after doing my homework on the Jets, Gene's right. They had one of the best drafts in the entire league this year. When you had Bailey, you had Kenyon Sadiq at tight end. I think there was another offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. They had a stout draft. And you go now and have Mitchell, who came over and played well to go along with Garrett Wilson. You still have Breece Hall in the backfield. You still got Demario Davis at linebacker. They've got some pieces. And again, Aaron Glenn I'm the one saying Aaron Glenn had an awful first year. Like, the way that look was last year was just abysmal. But I'm not a Geno Smith fan, not at all. He turns the ball over way too much. So I'm not saying that that's not going to continue, but at least it's a veteran, stable guy back there. Justin Fields was a disaster. Let's all admit that he's not
Right.
a starter in this league. Geno at least is, we can say, a starting quarterback in this league. It might be the 25th best starting quarterback in this league, but he's a starter in this league. And with guys like Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall around him, and you bring in Mitchell and now that Sadiq at tight end, I just kind of like what they did in the draft. The only way to improve your culture is to infuse it with young talent like that. And they loaded it with some of this young talent. Bailey was a top 2 pick. I just like what they did. I'm not saying they're going to go be world beaters. They're going to compete for the division. They're absolutely not. But I think Aaron Glenn will have a handle on things better, how he wants to run this culture, bring in better guys around it, young guys. So I got them going 7-10.
I think the locker room's going to look better. I
Yes.
think the locker room's going to look better. I think Aaron Glenn cleaned out the guys that weren't buying into his system, regardless of how
100%.
talented they were. The locker room will look better. With that being said, Aaron Glenn gets fired this year, and if he doesn't, it's next year. I have them going 1-16. They are in the cellar, and that it is. If you want to play the rookie game, y'all are so high on David Bailey and Kenyon Sadiq, the rookies. Miami also had a terrific draft. And they also filled a lot of positions of need, especially along the offensive line, which was the bane of their existence last season. The Jets are not going to be good. The Jets are not going to almost go 500. The Jets aren't going to win 6 games. And y'all are welcome to clip this, because I don't think the Jets have the fire. Now, Garrett Wilson is going to be the happiest man in the NFL this year. I will say that. They got him Adonai Mitchell. They did put other people around him. So Garrett Wilson's not getting punched in the mouth every play. That doesn't equate to them scoring points.
All right, can I ask you a question? Who would you rather have, Garrett Wilson or any receiver on the Dolphins?
Oh, Garrett Wilson for sure.
Who would you rather have? Well, A-Chain and Brees Hall, I'll give that a wash. All right, you're going to take Willis. You're taking Willis over Geno Smith?
It's not a wash. I take A-Chain all day long, and I take Malik Willis over Geno Smith.
Wow. Again, it's about who they throw to. And I want to throw out a challenge right now, Gene. Clip this for a clip. If we're going to kind of call out these hot takes, let's make a bet right now that I will take the Jets to have more win than the Dolphins, and we'll make a bet on that. And we'll have some kind of punishment for the loser.
Well, it's on tape, guys. So y'all gonna go ahead and throw a bet out there. Let's do it.
Fine.
Do you want to think about it during the preseason, and we'll come up with the bet? If the Jets have more wins than
Jacob,
the Dolphins,
you got to be kidding.
Then you have to do a punishment.
It's the parameters around it. Yeah, I'm about it.
Okay.
I really am. I think that Miami has a better season than the Jets, and I think the Jets have one of the 2 worst seasons in the NFL.
All right, Gene, we're going to announce the parameters of this bet before the regular season starts.
Jacob, I know you travel across the country quite a bit. I hope your ass don't end up in New York anytime this football season.
Hey, I like the Jets. Hey, go Mean Green. They just suck. There's no
win.
One win. I'm giving them 1. It was a generous 1. Yeah.
Who's the 1 win?
Hold on. Let me Google their schedule. Let me go back.
Yeah, that's. I mean, because I'm looking at their schedule right now. I'm just okay. The Cardinals are the Cardinals. Then we're going to be talking about them here in a couple of weeks. Okay, so who is?
So they play the Cardinals and the Dolphins twice, and you mean to tell me they're not going to win? They're only
is it the Raiders or the Browns? I mean,
they're going to win one. The Cardinals. I have them with a dub over the Cardinals on December 20th, 2026 at 3:05 p.m. Central Time. Yeah.
You don't think they're going to beat the Tennessee Titans?
No, I think the Titans are going to be better than you.
Oh my goodness! All right,
I gave the Titans like 6 wins last week.
Fine. That's fine. We're gonna move on to the Buffalo Bills. Okay, let's get out the AFC East before I have to make a damn drink. Okay, because Jacob's killing me.
Man, it is unbelievable.
All right, hey,
I'll get to the bottom of this.
The Buffalo Bills are still the team to beat. I sound like a broken record saying that the window's closing. You cannot tell me that last year this team did not miss out on a golden opportunity. You didn't have Patrick Mahomes. You didn't have Joe Burrows to worry about. You didn't have Lamar Jackson. And yet you still let the New England Patriots get all the way to the damn Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm going out. This is my last year supporting the Buffalo Bills, okay? I got them. They finished second in the division. I got them 12-5. I know they have a new coach, but the coach is in-house. The OC got promoted, so it's not a lot of changes there. I know they picked up some additions. So
DJ Moore.
Josh Allen is Josh Allen. So I'm okay with the Buffalo Bills, but this has got to be their last hoorah as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so you got them 12-5. You also had the Patriots 12-5.
I do. I mean, I got a couple of ties,
the division?
And I mean, it could be. We can give the Patriots one more win, or we can take a loss. We can add a loss to the Bills, but they're going to finish 1 and 2, and I still got the Patriots winning that division.
Okay. Well, you said the Bills are the team to beat. I'm not sure they are because the Patriots pretty much dethroned them last year. So the Patriots, they are the team to beat in this division if they want to say that. And you're right, the window is getting smaller as Josh Allen gets older. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this season. The addition that you mentioned is huge, though, is adding DJ Moore to this offense. I think that's a really good receiver that Josh Allen will find connection with. I know it was, up and down in Chicago, but he was a beast in Carolina. DJ Moore is a very good receiver. And you add that with some of the weapons with Kincaid they still have and some of these other guys. And then you still got James Cook back there who's a monster in the backfield. Like, I still think they're going to be very good. Their defense will be kind of what their defense has always been. It'll be opportunistic on some of these. It's not always going to be a top 5 defense, but it's good enough for this team to win. I've got them 11-6, finishing 1 game behind the Patriots. Again, when I first did my research, I wanted to put the Bills back on top. I like the addition of DJ Moore that much. I also like Joe Brady. I thought he could be a head coach for a long time in this league. McDermott's a good coach, but it's one of those things where it's getting stale, time for a change. And Joe Brady has a really good offensive mind. Now that he has the full reins, he may even open it up even more. But that schedule is brutal, just like we talked. All of them are, but their schedule is really brutal. So give me 11-6. They'll be a wild card team and finish 1 game behind the Patriots. And then, like you said, Gene, it's not even about the division. It's just about getting in, and it's time for this team to see if they can finally get there. And that's they're almost in the same boat as the Baltimore Ravens are, even though the Ravens didn't make the playoffs last year. It's like the regular season no longer matters for these teams. It's about what you do in the playoffs. Can Lamar Jackson get to a Super Bowl? Can Josh Allen get to a Super Bowl? Because what you mentioned, Gene, it's not even about winning one. They haven't even got to the Super Bowl yet. So I've got them on a wild card, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
And this is why, real quick, Jacob, and this is why we were so gung-ho last week on Joe Burrow, because that's somebody that has gotten a taste of the Super Bowl. And if they're healthy and if their defense comes out, a little bit on fire, everybody might be going through Cincinnati. All right, Jacob, who you got?
The most boneheaded move of the 2025 season was Buffalo not trading for a wide receiver 1 at the trade deadline. And I think their window closed with their decision not to do that. I think DJ Moore was one of the probably top 5 acquisitions of the offseason. I do, but I think it was a little too late. Yeah. I like Joe Brady. I think that it was good to hire internally. And I have them going 12-5 and getting second place in the division with a wild card berth.
Okay.
But I do not think that Buffalo pushes. I do not. I think that the time is done. I think it's the window has shut for Buffalo unless they have some sort of crazy offseason this year because they have the talent. Their defense has gotten a little too old and they are a little too injury prone on both sides of the ball, but primarily defense. And it's shown the last couple of seasons. Your star in Matt Milano has finally aged out, right? He is in his twilight years of the NFL. He will not be around much longer. I think that the Bills will get probably not stomped. It'll be a 3-4 point game in the playoffs, but they'll be outplayed for the entire probably 3 out of the 4 quarters. I do not think Buffalo is a serious Super Bowl contender anymore, and I think that this year will show it. They'll have some dominant wins, and again, a good record. I do think Buffalo will be good. I don't think it's enough, right? I think we'll see James Cook take a step back. Right. They do have Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, 2 of the best tight ends in the league. I think they're both great pass catchers. Both of them also have great blocking chops, which is not something everybody has. I don't believe in the Bills.
Okay. So, well, what I will take from this AFC East division, guys, is that we all are on the same page with the New England Patriots repeating as the AFC East champs, right? Okay,
that's correct.
All right, that's good. So that wraps up
the other big takeaway is we will be talking about this bet going forward
until it starts leaning in my favor.
Right.
You forget about it.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's going to tell you that he was high. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So
The Jets are going to
just
open
sort
the
of
season
forgive him.
with one win, and I'm going to be punching air all year.
All right, guys, let's go to the AFC West and look at that last year's 2025 finish over in the AFC West. So now this is where Jacob, me and you can sort of like pump our fist there because we predicted that the Broncos would win that division. I didn't think they would be 14-3 though. That was pretty damn good. So they were 14-3. Chargers finished 11-6. Of course, they both made the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs were 6-11, and the Las Vegas Raiders finished the season 3-14. So this is really going to be fun, guys, because Mahomes returned after that season-ending injury. They picked up the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. He's the main back now. No more Pacheco there. When you look at the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh enters his third season with the Chargers. If you can recall, when Jim Harbaugh was a head coach before in the NFL with the 49ers, he never had a losing season, okay? So we look forward to see what's going to happen between him and Justin Herbert. How is he going to get him advanced? And then, of course, the Raiders, Fernando Mendoza, he might have to wait for his chance to start, or will he? We don't know. So Clint Kubiak takes over the Raiders after a successful Super Bowl run and win with Seattle. He was the OC. Now he is the head coach of the Raiders. And who's the other team here? Oh, the Denver Broncos, right? So Broncos are looking to take it to the next level, all right, to prove that last year was no fluke. Of course, it depends on Bo Nix, right? If he can shake off that fractured right ankle injury that pretty much prevented them from finishing the season or even the Broncos advancing. So why don't we start with the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton? He gets to work with Bo Nix again. He picks up Jalen Waddle was another huge pickup in the offseason there. So they have these other quick guys. They got some really speed on this team. Cortland Sutton, I don't know. The Sean Payton's offense is so damn complex, right? So this is one reason why it's hard to take any player on their team and put them on your fantasy football team because they don't get the damn ball consistently. So I don't know. Jacob, what do you think the Broncos are going to do? Are they going to win this division again next year?
Well, I've got two answers. Got two answers for this question. One, Denver wins the Super Bowl last year if we're not living in Stiddy City. You know what I'm saying? It's if Jarrett if Stiddy City Mania never happened.
Oh no, Denver, but okay, that's your take.
Yeah, no, time out. No, we got to stop there. We got to stop there. You and Gene, Gene's not in this because Gene isn't backing down. You both were all over Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. And now you are going to pull back and say, if Bo Nix played, they would have beat Seattle in that defense. After all you hyped up Seattle last year.
I'm not saying that.
No, that's Jacob.
The Broncos were too hot. Yes. Bo
and the Seahawks weren't
to the moon. It does not matter those last year, Dustin. You're playing in hypotheticals. We're living in the real world. Okay?
You're the one that brought it up.
This year, Dustin, right? This year, if Bojangles is healthy, there's no setbacks at the beginning of the year, right? Because I genuinely, I've tried to keep up with it, but I don't know where he's actually at. I know he's supposed to be back and healthy for week 1, but if he's legitimately back and healthy, it is a different answer than otherwise. So I have them, if Bojangles is a little soft in the beginning and he's just now getting worked into the cycle, I have them going 12-5. No, that's a lie. I have them going 10-7. If Bojangles is good to go and throwing darts to the moon like Uncle Rico, I have them going 12-5. I do think that because I don't know what to do with Bo Nix at all. I don't know how healthy he actually is. The injury was rather gruesome. So if he's back full force, I think they go 12-5, and I think that they will be a dominant force this year. And if Bojangles is a little soft at the start, I think that they'll take a backseat, get second in the division. I think they tie for first in the division otherwise.
I mean, the big thing is that he is a mobile quarterback. He needs his legs
That's what I'm
to be
saying.
to be the
Yeah.
quarterback he wants to be. So yeah, we need to see how he's going to come out. Hopefully, he comes back healthy and is ready to go. Jalen Waddle, even though people might not be a huge fan with that speed, that's a huge addition. They needed somebody
Yeah.
like that to go. You got a short-handed Cortland Sutton. Now you put Waddle on the other side. That's a really good addition. And then the guys. You know me, I'm not a Sean Payton fan. I wasn't high on the Broncos last year. They proved me wrong. So I try to do my homework to find any way possible not to have them win this division. But when they have a defense like that, and you have Surtain, who's the defensive player of the year, like even if Bo Nix is, like you said, Jacob, coming out slow, you've got a good defense that can hold you down, and that's key. And just looking at some of the other kind of missing pieces on these other teams in the West, it's going to be close. It's going to be a battle. We know this is one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. I just think they're gonna repeat it if Bo Nix is healthy. Jacob almost got me saying Bojangles. He almost had me do it.
I'm
If they're
getting
healthy,
close.
I've got them. I've got them 12-5 as well. I do think they'll take a little bit of a step back on their record. I don't know if you saw their first 5 or 6 games of the schedule. It's brutal. It's a tough schedule coming out the gates. But I've got them going 12-5, and I've got them finishing first place in this division.
Nice.
Yeah, coming out the gate, you're right. They got Kansas City, Jacksonville, and the Rams. Good Lord,
Yeah.
it doesn't get any tougher than that. But here's the thing, guys. I have them 11-6, and I tell you why. It'll make sense here in a minute. Look, I'm not a Sean Payton fan either, but man, he seems to have the magic with quarterbacks because we've said this many times on this show. You get the right combination of a head coach and quarterback. We saw with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and I tell you what, we're starting to see it with Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. You got to remember Harbaugh is kind of late to the party, but and you're gonna see this thing with Kubiak and this kid here, Mendoza. That could be the future of a good combination there. But I don't know. I don't know these injuries to these quarterbacks, and man, we just act like nothing happened here. We act like Patrick Mahomes is just supposed to. You got to remember these injuries were late in the season, so I mean I know medicine is advanced, this, that, and the other. The NFL got the best doctors in the world. I don't know if these quarterbacks are just all gonna come back and have that success because I think the biggest enemy in the AFC West is the AFC West itself because you got three. I mean, you got 3 teams that are going to be beating up on each other, and the Raiders they're going to be a little bit better. I think Genty is going to be a little bit better. So I don't know. I was 11-6 was the best that I could come up with. I think 3 teams, depending on Kansas City, and I'll give you my take on them in a minute. I don't know. It could be 3 teams, or it could be just the same 2 that we saw last year. So I think the Broncos are going to be good, but I think not only their outer division or conference schedule is going to be brutal, but their own division. This is going to be one division to watch. So I got them finishing second place, the Broncos.
You got them second place. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. So everybody gave their take on Denver?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and who's the other team I have here? Okay, yeah, let's talk about the Raiders, huh? Let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, look, the one thing I would say about the Raiders, something that they haven't seen, the organization itself hasn't seen in a long time, and that's winners. You get the Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, and you got the Heisman Trophy and national championship quarterback that you drafted in that organization. So you got somebody that knows something about winning big games. I think that's going to pan off a little bit. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is under Kubiak, but
it doesn't matter when Clint Kubiak's running the show.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You're right. I mean, so he's the head guy. I think Genty is going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a better year. Look, Kirk Cousins is probably going to be the starter, but I mean, look, we still got a month of preseason games that hasn't been played yet. I would say not so fast with that. I mean, if Mendoza is the starter on day 1, he would not be the first damn rookie to start. for his team. So I'm not ready. I'm not ready to crown Kirk Cousins yet as the quarterback one there, QB1. But I do think the Raiders are going to have a better season. I got them winning. I got them winning 7 games. Okay.
Listen, I'm going to
believe it or not, 2 or 3 of them might come from their own damn division.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen. I mean, we've seen these Chiefs Raiders games, some of these rivalry games in the AFC West. Like, even when the Raiders were bad, those are tough outs just because of them being rivalry games. So, listen, and Gene, you know, we've been on the show for a long time, and I've trashed the Raiders for how they go about their business for a long time. They never had a direction. When they brought in Pete Carroll, I love Pete Carroll, but it's like, what direction are you going in with a coach who's only going to be there for a year or two? He's not ready to win with that organization and that roster. But now, for the first time, and shout out Wayne Brown, like, you can go into a season with some excitement. Does it mean you're going to have a winning record? No, but you have something going in the right direction. And a lot of these organizations, that's all fans can ask for. That's all I asked for when the Panthers were struggling and they finally built a direction. Like, if you can see your team trying to do stuff and build it the right way, that's all you can ask for. And they had one of, I would probably say, top 5, 6 offense off seasons in the NFL. When you go out and you get a guy like Lindbaum and you get a guy like Clint Kubiak, who, yes, it's his first head coaching job, but we saw what he did with Sam Darnold and with that Seattle offense. And you look at, it's crazy how it happened, but you got Max Crosby back, who's a leader in that organization. And you have Genty and you have Bowers, and you go add some of these other pieces on defense. You get into Kobe Dean. I mean, like, they really had some good pieces brought in, and I like where they're heading. And I think they're going to be one of the more exciting teams to watch, where you can actually say on Sunday, I want to turn on the TV and see what the Las Vegas Raiders are doing. And so, with that being said, like, I went back and forth with this, and I kind of agree with Eugene. When they first signed Kirk Cousins, I was like, you know what? Kirk's a veteran, a good guy to come in and teach Mendoza, start, give him a break. But I'm at the point now where I think you just need to rip the Band-Aid off and Mendoza needs to start. If Kirk Cousins was a little younger, a couple of years ago, I would say, you know what? Go ahead, Kirk, take the reins for a year. But Kirk is up there in age. His mobility is not there anymore. You saw it in Atlanta when he came in for Penix. It didn't work out there, once they kind of did that swap again. I just think you start Mendoza from the beginning. You got enough talent around him where he could have a chance. We've seen what some rookie quarterbacks have done, guys. CJ Stroud, Jaden McDaniels. Like, I'm not saying he'll take off like that, but he can be competent. And if he starts from day one, I would put them at 8-9. I'm going to say that right now. I have him at 7-10, just like Gene. But if they pull off the Band-Aid and Mendoza starts from day one, I'll add one more win to that, and I'll put him at 8-9. And I know Raiders fans will say 8-9. That's but that is a huge step from what they've been doing if they can go 8-9. So I like the direction that the Raiders are heading in.
I wish Bobby were here with us tonight.
Yeah, shout out Bobby.
Bobby. So I have the Raiders going
17-0.
They might as well be 17-0. I have them having a positive record this year. I think that they got better at literally every position, literally every single one. There's not one that you can tell, except for running back, and it's just because they already had him, right? He was misused last year, but they already had him. The Raiders got better at every position. Their defense is lights out better at every position. Their linebackers got faster. They got bigger. They got stronger. They got more athletic. Their defensive line got better. No longer is it just Max Crosby on that D line. You had Kuntz at DT. He was hurt last year. But they added legitimate firepower all over their defense. The secondary is better. The D-line is better. The linebackers are better. They got better at all 3 levels. The defense is nuts. They did lose Patrick Graham. I'll die on the sword that he is an incredible DC and deserves all the kudos. Their offense, their wide receivers got much better. Their running back situation is the same. It was good. It was good. We'll just actually get to see it in full power this year. Their offensive line significantly improved. Quarterback play, right? I don't care who starts. I think Captain Kirk's good enough to run Kubiak's offense. I think that West Coast offense will fit Kirk Obang's style rather well. And if he starts, I think that their record's going to be there'll be a derivative of one in either direction. Kind of the same thing that Dustin said. I just think that they'll win more games. It'll be one more or one less game, depending on kind of how that shakes out. I do think we'll see Fernando Mendoza at some point this season, but I genuinely believe that Kirko is going to look good enough that it's not a rushed thing. They'll be able to, maybe after the first bye, right? They'll be able to swap them out, and it'll be that kind of deal. But I don't think that they'll be bad. And I have them going 9-8. I think that they will have a vast turnaround this year with Kubiak taking the helm and them upgrading everything.
How about that? I mean, that's impressive. I guess Raider fans are definitely going to love this show, right? Because this is, I think we're only speaking the truth here. They have, we've watched the Raiders self-implode over the last couple of years. I was at the last Super Bowl they were in, and they have just never recovered from that 41-21 beatdown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this could be a big positive year for the Raiders. Okay, all right, guys. Some training camp news. We're gonna move on to the Chargers here. So Justin Herbert throws his first interception in practice. Okay. I believe it was Kendall Williamson. He outmuscled Trey Harris for the takeaway. But that's you would think like, okay, well, all right, man. I don't know. Mike McDaniel. Okay, let me get this guy on here. This guy was happy that he threw that interception because he says, now this is his words. Okay, he says, look, man. He wants him to play outside of his comfort zone, which is, kind of made him one of the league's best quarterbacks. So it was like he says, hey, full lean in, full buy-in. He threw the pick simply because he's leaning into the process and getting comfortable with all the things we're asking him to do. Now, you ain't going to be saying this in the regular season, right, Mike McDaniel. But, hey, this guy right here, Jacob and Dustin, speaking of comfort zone, Mike McDaniel is back in his comfort zone. I don't know what they were trying to do in Miami with this guy. It just didn't work. I think, what was it, Dustin? We called for this guy to be fired damn near every week.
Yeah.
And he eventually got fired. Then it looked like he wasn't going to get fired. Then he and after they had a fire sale, then there was no way he was going to keep his job. But give it up to Jim Harbaugh now. You're talking about taking the pressure off yourself as a head coach. This is a good hire. And now he's working with a big quarterback like Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is going to have a hell of a year. And I can just go ahead and give you my pick now. I got the Chargers winning this damn division. It's Jim Harbaugh's third season. And Harbaugh, he just needs to kind of come in and see what's going on, and things are going to be right. So you're going to give Mario Hampton and Justin Herbert to Mike McDaniels. Oh, I think great things are about to happen. I got them going 12-5. Chargers are going to have a hell of a year. And let's remember, the Super Bowl is in their backyard. They are actually the host team. They share with the Rams, but it is Chargers are the host team, so they could be playing in their backyard.
Yeah, listen, they've got high expectations, no doubt. Justin Herbert is another one of those guys. I wouldn't fully put him in the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen conversation because those are like MVP level, but like Justin Herbert's another guy who needs to prove that next step that he can take a team deep into the playoffs. And, Harbaugh year 3, I agree with you. I think they should. I say the saying, I said it earlier tonight, take the training wheels off of Mario Hampton. I think he can be an every down, really good running back in this league. The one thing that pulls me back a little bit on them is, a couple of things. It's their offensive line. Can they stay healthy? Alt and Slater were both out for most of the year last year.
Yeah.
If those guys can stay healthy, that's obviously a huge improvement on the offensive line. The other thing is that I'm concerned about is their wide receiver play. You lose a guy like, I know he's an older veteran, but you lose a guy like Keenan Allen. I love Ladd McConkey, but after that, you don't have many consistent guys. I know they've got some guys that, what's the up and down receiver that always either catches touchdowns or drops touchdowns?
The dude from TCU.
TCU, yes.
Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson?
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like we know he's up and down. So McConkey, I love him, but after that, it's a little shaky at the wide receiver spot. And then the other thing is their defense. Khalil Mack's getting older. Derwin James is still a beast, but he's another year in the league. Like their defense is aging a little bit. So I still think they're going to be very good. I have them finishing a game behind the Broncos in the division. I'm going to have them going 11-6, because, like you said, of Harbaugh's pedigree and his culture. I do agree that Mike McDaniel will help Justin Herbert. Like, listen, we wanted him fired, but I think we all can agree he's probably a top 3 to 5 offensive mind in
Yes.
this league, and he will help improve this offense significantly, because we know Harbaugh likes to focus on the defense, so that'll give him more time to focus there. So I got them going 11-6 and being a wild card team, finishing one game behind the Broncos. But once again, it's kind of like I said with the other guys. Justin Herbert, it's time for him to prove, like, hey, and for him, it's not even the Super Bowl. It's, hey, can I win a game, 2 games in the playoffs? Just show that you can take that next step. Because, guys, this guy's been hyped up with his attributes, his athleticism, his cannon of an arm. Everybody says he should be a top 5 QB in this league. So it's time to really, and he's been up there, but it's time for him to really put his mark on his team.
But
so
you know what?
11-6.
Defense, real quick, Jacob. I mean, he suffered from the Trevor Lawrence, syndrome.
Yeah.
New head coaches, new offensive coordinators. I mean, that damages a quarterback's career, especially a young quarterback with prospect. So that's why we said earlier about these coach-quarterback combinations. I mean, there's nobody better than Jim Harbaugh. I think this guy is in good hands now. And you've seen the progress over just in the short term that Harbaugh has been there. And you bring in a Mike McDaniel, I think this could be a great year for Herbert.
I think that Herbert's legacy arc is going to follow the footsteps Flacco. I think that they're, like, in the grand scheme of things, what they are able to accomplish and whatnot. Now the numbers are all different, what have you, but Herbert reminds me a lot of Flacco. What, I've called him footsteps for so long. What's his first name?
Joe
Flacco. Yes. I think Herbert's going to follow pretty closely in Flacco's footsteps. And with that being said, Dustin, I'm glad that you called out the wide receiver core. Wide receiver play is my biggest red flag for this Chargers team, because you have Quentin Johnston, right, who had an elite game last year. Elite. He was on my fantasy team. I won by a lot that week. He put up, it was like 60 points, right? He scored like 3 touchdowns, 200 yards. It was an incredible game. And then he blanked for like 9 weeks, right? When you say up and down, that doesn't even begin to describe it. Then in comes Trey Harris, right, who Gene name dropped earlier. Trey Harris came in. He looked really good. But you lose Keenan Allen, who's your automatic on third down, right? He has some of the best hands in the NFL. He's a fantastic receiver. You lose that. You have that rookie. He was not a rookie. He was 1 or 2 years pro. That tight end that was a convert from a basketball player.
One addition we forgot about, they did add David Njoku. So
they did add Njoku. That is correct, because their best tight end last year was that basketball convert who he was good. But once they figured him out,
that's a good piece.
That's huge.
Yes, and so I think that the Chargers have. I think the Chargers, their destiny is in their hands this year. This is the year that their window is truly open. I think. I think I don't care what's around them. I think that this is kind of a put up or shut up, like, for Justin Herbert, not for the Chargers in general, but for Herbie being the best quarterback out of Oregon, right? Like, this is his chance to prove that he belongs, quote unquote. And I think Herbert's a fantastic quarterback, but for the general public, a lot of people don't see him the same way. It's the elite conversation that Flacco found himself in, right? Half the Gen Pop watchers are like, Joe Flacco's elite. The other half, no, he's a bum. And I think that Herbert's got a pretty similar split there. With that said, I have LAC going 12-5. I do think that they win the division. I think that they go 12-5.
Oh, so you have them winning the division over the Broncos?
So it'll be tough if Bojangles is healthy all year, but I think they both go 12-5, and I think that Los Angeles probably wins the tiebreaker. I think that the Chargers are the best team in that division this season.
Well, I do want to put you on the spot real quick before we get to the last team. You said Justin Herbert, best QB to come out of Oregon. Right now, if I put you on the spot, are you taking Justin Herbert or Bojangles next?
I'm taking Justin Herbert. In terms of like pure quarterback talent and like what he's capable of doing, Justin Herbert's a far better passer.
Okay.
Wasn't Bo Nix like 42 years old when he left Oregon?
41.
They both came from Oregon, so I thought I'd throw it out there.
No, but Justin Herbert's a more talented quarterback. I think Bojangles is a better athlete. But I think,
which is why I say most of the league has said that Herbert should be a clear top
yeah,
5 guy. And has he been on the fringe? He has. But when is he going to take that step to be elite? Is what
correct.
we're looking
This
for.
is the year. Look here. They're going to be 2-0, all right? They play the Raiders and the Cardinals. You couldn't ask for a better
Ooh,
start.
are you writing the Raiders off just like that on week
Yeah, I
one?
wouldn't
Well,
give that a free
no.
throw.
Look, hey, I said the Raiders would beat up on their own division, so there's nothing wrong with a split there. But I need those damn Chargers to at least start 2-0 to prove my theory right here, right? All right, this team right here, man, guys. And I wanted to just start it off here. The Kansas City Chiefs, what we saw last year. I don't want people to think that just because Mahomes get hurt and he goes down, that is the reason why the Chiefs were not successful. Their asses were getting beat before that.
Yep.
We saw the decline in the Chiefs way before Patrick Mahomes went down, and we saw it. We saw it. Now they come back with the Super Bowl MVP. I think that's going to be pretty good. But man, it takes a little time to build all this chemistry together. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to. 3 teams could make the playoffs from the AFC. I could easily see that from the AFC West. But I got the Chiefs going 11-6. I'm being very generous there. I don't know. I could probably change that to 10-7. I don't know. I don't see it. I'm not sold on this injury. That was a brutal injury. And I'm hearing, hey, getting Kenneth Walker is good because that means Mahomes, what did he get hurt doing? Running, right? So, he doesn't have to run as much anymore. But I don't know. You got other guys that were hurt on that Chiefs team. Their roster right now is banged up. So I don't know about the Chiefs. They don't look good even going into the season right now. I got them finishing 3rd place in this division, which may or may not be good enough to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, listen, this to me is one of the toughest teams to kind of analyze going into the season. I like a lot of what they did. And first of all, I think we should go back and say, we're sending our thoughts and prayers to Eric Bieniemy and his family for everything that happened there,
Absolutely.
definitely. Because we mentioned last week on the show, Gene, about how Eric Bieniemy was a nice addition to bring him back home to this Chiefs staff and help maybe get this offense back on track. So hopefully everything's going good with his family and tough situation and prayers are sending his way. But
right,
I can't, we talk about, yes, they were getting beat even with Mahomes healthy, but I'm not going to sit here and write off a guy that we were putting in the conversation as one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen play football. There's more in him somewhere, even off this injury. And the great ones like that always find a way to adapt and bounce back. And not just him, Andy Reid, one of the best coaches probably in the history, as well as what his pedigree. These guys, I think this is a perfect situation for them. Even last year, y'all were I give both of y'all credit. Y'all said they were going to take a step back. I did not. They were still the Chiefs and expected to be the favorites. This is the first year they really go and kind of being that underdog. And I think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to relish that role. I think Kenneth Walker is a huge addition. Pacheco and them and Kareem Hunt could not get a consistent run game going behind Mahomes. Mahomes on some of these games will be able to hand the ball to Kenneth Walker and let him just do work. Love that. Love the year 2 of Xavier Worthy. Love, hopefully Rice gets his off the field issues fixed. Kelsey's back now. Yeah, Kelsey's not Kelsey. We know that, but still having him there still as a red zone target is better than nothing. So I'm not worried about their offense. I think, hopefully Mahomes comes back healthy, that he said he's ready for week 1. He even admitted what you said, Gene, that he's not going to run as much because he needs to kind of cut that out a little bit. So I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna tell you what worries me the most is their defense. When you lose McDuffie, Chris Jones is a year older up in the middle. We kind of saw some games last year where it looked like he had slowed down a good bit. So I'm a little worried about their defense. But you're right. I can't bet against them. I have them 11-6, just like Eugene. I flirted with 10-7 because of that defense. But I'm gonna put my trust in Mahomes and Andy Reid and even having Bieniemy back, that this offense is going to be, because the last 2 years, the defense has carried the offense. Let's be honest. And it's crazy to say that when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. I think the Chiefs offense is going to take off this year. And I think Mahomes is going to prove something. And so I've got them 11-6. And like you said, Gene, they'll be right there for one of those wild card spots. We'll see what happens.
Y'all remember a wide receiver by the name of Justin Hunter that played for the Titans like a decade ago? So he coined a phrase, and that phrase was JAG. It was an acronym. Do y'all remember that?
Just a guy, just another guy.
Yeah.
When you take Patrick Mahomes' mobility away, he's a JAG. I don't think that.
Stop that. Stop
hey,
that.
No. You go play back every major Patrick Mahomes replay for the last 8 years and tell me he wasn't running for his life.
We didn't say that he wasn't going to not use mobility at all. He just said he's going to pick his spots better.
Run less. They win half the games they do over the last handful of years without him running with that football. And I do not care that they added Kenneth Walker. Now, Kansas City's offense will be better than it was last year. Yes, I do agree with you, Dustin. Their offense will be better, right? Especially if Rashee Rice can stay out of legal trouble, right? You have the kid out of UT who, if he can, keep his head between his ears and catch some passes, he was open a couple times and they didn't hit him. Like, he'll be utilized more, and I do think that he'll have a better output on the field. Their defense worries me. They traded their entire secondary to the Los Angeles Rams, right? They're starting over from scratch at corner completely. They did get that kid out of LSU.
He's nice.
Yeah, he's very, very good. He's also a rookie, right? Rookies have come in. Rookies have come in. One of the best players in the league, but he is a rookie. I have Kansas City tying the Las Vegas Raiders at 9-8 this year. I have them tying for third. There is no fourth place. They will not make a wild card, and they will be just as close to a Super Bowl as the Las Vegas Raiders this year.
I stopped listening to what you said after you said Mahomes was just another guy.
Patrick Mahomes is a JAG this year. He is just another guy.
That's disrespect.
It is. It's disrespectful, blatant disrespect, because he was starting to fall off already. He got hurt. And everybody's like, oh no. But he was playing like dog shit before he got hurt. That's the whole thing here, is he was not playing good football before that injury. And I think that carries on.
He is agreeing with you.
Yeah, she's sitting right next to me.
He also didn't have a run game last year. He's got that this year.
We don't know that. K9's good. K9's a far big upgrade over Isaiah Pacheco.
A far big upgrade.
But their offensive line's a big question mark as well. What if K9's not that great there? K9 got hurt in Seattle. Zach Charbonnet had a lot of touches.
Yeah, injuries are a thing, definitely.
Touches from K9 in Kansas City.
And if Justin Herbert loses both his tackles again, they're going to be in trouble again too. You can say that about every team. So
maybe the Chargers persevered last year. The Chiefs plummeted.
Yeah,
I'll fight you on this one.
So who do you have winning the division, Jacob?
Chargers.
I've got Denver,
and I got the Chargers.
I've got the Chargers one game behind the Broncos.
So
and I've got the Chiefs one game behind the Broncos. I mean, we know how close this division's always been. It's going to be a toss-up battle all the way throughout. So
Jacob, you don't think the Chiefs would be the third team from that division to go to the playoffs?
No, and I think part of the reason for that is the fact that there are 4 good teams in this division now. I think the Raiders have finally entered a respectable, people have to see them as a respectable opponent more than they have in years past, just because of how much better they got. If they come out and the product that the Raiders put on the field is not good, that changes a little bit. I have the Chiefs at least breaking even with the Raiders, and I think that the Raiders creeping up kind of dampens the Chiefs season. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to keep.
I'm not saying that Chiefs window's not closing, because obviously the dynasty's part is gone and that window's getting smaller and smaller. I'm just not ready to fully write this off and close the window just yet, because I still think Patrick Mahomes has got a lot of good football left in him.
And look, guys, if for some reason the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, then it's going to be because the offense has become stagnant. What Andy Reid has sort of built now, the NFL is just growing and it's maturing so fast. These coaches are smart. These guys are, they're looking at your game film now from the last 3 years and seeing. So it could be where their success catches up with them. But if they do make the playoffs, then watch out. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, guys, that's it for the week. For this week. But hey, look, don't forget to tune in to the Pro Football Hall of Fame game tomorrow night. It is the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. Dustin, I know you got to be excited. Are you in Canton, Ohio, Dustin? I mean, you didn't tell us where you were going.
I am not. I'm sitting oceanfront on the beach. I am
Okay.
relaxing, kicking it back. But I will be tuning into the game tomorrow night. Obviously, we all know how the Hall of Fame game goes. No starters really playing on both sides.
Right.
Kenny Pickett is starting for the Carolina Panthers.
Carson
So
back.
Carson
Carson
Which,
Beck. So we'll
which is
get to see some of those.
meaningful for
Yeah.
Arizona because
Yeah.
they got to look for the future, right? Brissett got a 1-year deal, but man, this is going to be meaningful moments for Beck out there tomorrow night. And guys,
Yeah.
you know what? How about Saturday? You all got to just make some time. And I know you're going to be watching, Dustin, because your guy Luke Kuechly, the linebacker,
Yes, sir.
one of the greatest linebackers, I think, man.
One of the greatest
of all time.
That guy for 8 years, man, he was the anchor of that Carolina defense. He goes into the Hall of Fame along with Drew Brees. I think we might have mentioned his name tonight with Sean Payton. So 13-time Pro Bowler. I think it was Super Bowl 44 champion. Look, man, this guy threw for 80 freaking thousand yards. That's a lot over 20 seasons with the Chargers and the Saints. And how about Larry Fitzgerald? Cardinal fans don't really have a whole lot to be proud of these days, but their guy, he was the franchise. Larry Fitzgerald, he goes in. He ranks second all time in career receiving yards. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Adam, I just kicked the freaking ball, Vinatieri. He's going into the Hall of Fame. 4-time Super Bowl champion and the all-time leading scorer. Just crazy, man. Just his kicks. Dustin, I don't know if you remember, it was at Rams New England Super Bowl, and I think we were doing our predictions. And I said, oh, yeah, Vinatieri will win. It'll be 20-17. And that was the final score of the damn game, 20-17.
Yeah, I mean all these guys. So I mean I don't think you can argue on any.
Oh,
of
one
them.
more.
One more. Yeah, one more.
Roger Craig. Now this is before you guys' time.
He's been waiting for a while.
He's been waiting for a long time. Roger Craig, man, he was back there with Joe Montana. When Montana wasn't throwing strikes like he was doing to Rice and Taylor and those guys, he would just give the ball to Roger Craig. And Craig, man, he was I think he was the first player to log 1,000 rushing and receiving yards in a single season. So he started that type of, hey, no, we need you to do more than run. We need you to catch too. And he was one of the best. And now that's the norm in the NFL. So so Saturday, it's only a couple of guys. This is really good stuff. Cannot wait. These guys are big time Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I mean it's all well deserved. This should be a really good ceremony. I tend to just go back to talk about Luke Kuechly. We say one of the greatest linebackers of all time. But I mean, he only played 8 years, and the guy is already, getting in the Hall of Fame. That shows you how good he was and the impact he was. I personally think he should have been first ballot. They changed the rules to make it a little tougher on the Hall of Fame, but the guy was just unbelievable. Drew Brees, unbelievable. Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, it should be a great ceremony on Saturday.
Should be a great ceremony. And then one more note I wanted to mention. Stephon Diggs signed a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders for $12 million. Jacob, I know you're happy that Jadeveon Clowney returns to H-Town, right?
Hell, we need 1 or 2 stacks out of it's worth every penny. And Rachel's got a Clowney jersey on.
Oh, I see you, Rachel. Oh my, you could not wait for me to say that, right?
That was a hell of a signing.
Bucks fans, I'm sorry. Vita Vea says the only remedy for this is that they trade him. This is not good for the Buccaneers. I think we're going to do what are we doing next week? Oh, yeah, we'll be talking about this next week because we're doing the NFC South and the NFC North next week. So, Buccaneers, you guys are already on the shitty end of the season, and it ain't even started yet.
I'm loving what's happening in Tampa with Vita Vea and with Baker Mayfield calling out the organization. It's good to see from a Panthers fan.
All right, guys. So, hey, you guys have a great evening. And, hey, folks, remember to, get on our YouTube page and tell people to follow us. We will be making our predictions. Once we get done with all this divisional stuff, we're going to pick who we think are going to be in Super Bowl 63 in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. But once the season starts, man, it's fun. It's week to week predictions. Oh, and on August 19th, we got Larry Schechter. He's going to come on in. This is the guy who wrote the book on fantasy sports. I mean, he was a pioneer in fantasy sports. This goes back to the 80s, guys. I don't think neither one of y'all know about the 80s, right? But anyway, this is going to be good. So he's going to come on the show. And Jacob, I need you to be paying attention. Don't be writing the damn thing down, because you're going to be trying to get ahead of us in our fantasy football. And then the following week, we do the fantasy football draft, the Sports King Fantasy Football Draft show. So, all right, guys, Dustin, you enjoy your vacation. I'm going to send over a bottle for Jacob to piss in, because some of his takes tonight were out of the park. So, guys, enjoy yourself. We're going to come back and do this all again next week here on the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Prediction Show. See you.